Hello, my Jason O, and welcome to my anime review for Amagi Brilliant Park. And so this is a 2014 anime series based on a 2013 manga by Shoji Gatoh, who is also the author of Full Metal Panic, with illustrations by Yuka Nakajima. And the series follows Seiya Kanye, who is convinced, quote-unquote convinced, I'll use those words there, by Izuzu Sento, and he is also hired by Latifa Furuenzanza to run the financially troubled Amagi Brilliant Park with the ultimatum of attracting 250,000 visitors in 3 months. That's the short end of the plots for this anime. The series is also directed by Yasuhiro Takemoto, who's also directed for the Full Metal Panic series and a bunch of other duties he's done for Kyoto Animation, especially in directing Ms. Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. And so this is a Kyoto Animation work. No, by no means is it one of the best Kyoto Animation works, but not even probably in my top like 5 or 7 favorites of Kyoto Animation. But definitely it's one of the most rewatchable series for me. I can always go back to it, always put it on in the background. Each episode is just a lot of fun, and the plot is very low stakes enough that you don't really have to pay attention to the nitty-gritty of the plots. There's just a bunch of great characters, and the concept is pretty interesting as well, with this whole Maple Land sort of scenario where Latifa is the princess of this mythical kingdom along with her subjects as well. At least half of the park are her subjects. Half of them are also regular humans as well. So it's pretty interesting things going on in this anime series. I do wish that they did go a little bit further with some of these concepts, like Maple Land itself. Apparently, they guard themselves from attack a bunch of times. How often does that happen? How does that work within the park? Like, what if there's attack during park hours? Maybe it's a good thing that they don't get a lot of business because there's not a lot of people in danger if there is an attack on them. There's also this curse that Latifa is going through. This is revealed in like the first couple episodes. So it's very interesting about that stuff there. I mean, they kind of reveal what happens in the end, but still it's kind of a bit too late to kind of introduce this big concept that this whole crux is going through of this whole ultimatum of getting these X amount of visitors within this set timeline. And so I wish some of these backstory things and other world building sort of scenarios were built up a little bit more within the series instead of some of these side stories that are enjoyable, but still I think they could have been used to help develop the world even more. But some of the highlight characters for me, other than the main characters like Kanye and Sento and also Latifa as well, are the trio mascots in Tirami, Muffle, and Macaron. The sexual stuff can be a bit much, especially with Tirami and his sort of very sexual harassment and very rapist sort of nature within himself. That's a bit much there, but for overall aspect of their role in this anime being a comedic relief trio and being a very consistent comedic relief mascot trio, very exciting, very fun comedic bits that they go through. They're all very action oriented, and so they're always driving the action of the series as well, especially Muffle and Kanye sort of rivalry as well. And also, of course, Muffle, you can notice in Full Metal Panic, there's a connection there with those two. But definitely those 3 drive the action of the series. The other favorite characters are the Elementario girls, with Salama, Muse, and Sophie, and Koburi. Their individual episode, episode 9 I think it is my favorite episode of the series. It's very cool seeing them work together in this very quirky, what makes sense with their amusement park worlds, where they have to sing, dance their way into fixing the castle and fixing this problem. And this really sort of drives and really showcases the emotional impact the series definitely has. Despite it being a comedy series, there's lots of drama and emotion behind this. You're fully invested in Kanye's sort of desire to get these amount of visitors to save the princess and save this park as well. You're very invested within the story. You're invested in these characters as well, especially with their final scene in the episode 9 episode. You're very invested of the decisions that these characters do make, and it's very interesting how they do that with just creating likable characters. It's very simple. Just create likable characters and you're going to be invested in their stories. And so that's pretty much it for Amagi Brilliant Park. Like I said before, the story's pretty simple. It's just Kanye, Sento, and everyone else trying to rally together to get 250,000 visitors in 3 months. There's many different plans that they go through, many different side stories as well, but the characters are the most important thing. for this anime series. If you're not interested in the characters, you're probably not going to like this anime series, but if you like the characters, you're going to be along for the ride for the 12 and 13 episodes that this series compiles. And the animation, of course, was very great with Kyoto Animation, with the lighting and the framing is very good. Nothing too outstanding as many other Kyoto Animation works have done, but still I would rank it somewhere in like the top 10 or so for my personal list for Kyoto Animation anime. But for rating for Amagi Brilliant Park, I'm gonna give the series a B-. The Elemental Girls and the trio mascots are the highlights of the series. Of course, Kanye Sento's relationship and Latifa as well. Their relationships together are sort of the crux of the series, especially for Kanye and Latifa. They have a mysterious past, as they allude to, which gets revealed in the end. But Kanye, his desire to save the park is a very strong emotional backbone in the series, which is very convincing, and it really drives home by the end, where all the emotions sort of build up to this final moments at the final episode, and it really does pay off very well. And so, have you already seen Amagi Brilliant Park? Put your thoughts on the series in the comment section down below. And also, what's your favorite Kyoto Animation anime? Also, make sure to give this video a like if you liked it, and subscribe to my channel if you have not already. And when you subscribe, make sure to hit the notification bell so you get notified when I post videos on this channel. Thank you for watching my anime review for Amagi Brilliant Park. Hope you guys have a nice day. Bye bye.